it going, kids? Friends? Toasters, whatever you are. You can be whatever you wanna be. Some of my favorite things are red vines, bears, and telling stories. And today we are going to combine those things. No, we're not. But I do have a story. We're cranking it back to middle school, which is where most of my terrible recollections reside. So let's go! My middle school was actually pretty great, so I was good back then. Except for the fact that I was still really clumsy. And dorky. And I wore splatter-painted shoes. I was cool. I have a lot of habits. I had quite a lot of them back in middle school. One of them was twitching my face like this. Which I've gotten over, but I still do it sometimes, and it's weird, I know. Another one was doing this. It kind of sounds like that part in Robin Hood where the snake goes doo-doo-doo-doo-doo with his tail. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry for your childhood. Another habit of mine was chewing pens. Whenever I was bored or had a pen in my hand, I would chew it. Sometimes if someone else had a pen in their hand, I would just reach over and just kind of while they weren't looking, and that's not true. So I was in history class, you see. This was an early history class, which means I was not focusing at all because Lord knows my brain doesn't work that early in the morning, 11 a.m. It's early. You see, I used to live in California, and I think my brain is still on California time, even though that was 8 years ago. So I had this pen, and I was in history class, doing historical stuff, John Adams, Adolf Hitler. I'm not comparing John Adams and Hitler. No, they're not. I'm not saying they're the same kind of person. Oh, just calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I'm in history class. I have the pen, okay, and my teacher, Mrs. Sue Pizzarelli. I'm not gonna tell you her actual name, Pizzarelli. That's not that funny. Mrs. Sue Pizzarelli. Writing up there, not about John Adams and Hitler at the same time. One of the two, don't know which. I'm over here with the pen. She's saying something, I don't know. And right when she's saying that something that I don't know, the pen in my mouth decides to explode. Here's the thing. Normally, when I chew pens, it's like that one velociraptor who ate the fat guy in Jurassic Park. It's like, yeah, I'm going at this pen. But today, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold this pen in my mouth. I'm not gonna chew on it, because what if something bad happens? Don't want that in history class, because you know it's gonna go down in history forever. Because anything you do in history class is gonna be written down. Someone is in there writing it down for the next history book for the 4th graders. So I'm not even chewing this pen. It's just in my mouth. And then it explodes! It goes, and I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? Because I had no idea what was happening. I mean, if I was chewing on it and it exploded while I was chewing on it, then I would have thought, oh, it exploded because I was chewing on it. But no, I wasn't. It was just in my mouth. And then all of a sudden the ink, instead of going down the pen, decides to go up the pen. I've taken the little cap part off, but still, that doesn't mean the ink, oh my gosh, that doesn't mean the ink can go up. Ink, you're not allowed to defy gravity, even though the little cap is taken, like, if someone took my hat off, that doesn't mean I can start floating for no apparent reason. The ink goes up into my mouth, and I'm like, my brain, like, tastes that flavor, and let me tell you, my brain is not quick at all in the morning. You know when they crack the egg and they go, this is your brain on drugs. That's like my brain, except for it's not on drugs. It's just the egg going, I don't like eggs. Eggs are gross. It tastes awful, and it looks awful, and it smells awful. Why would you eat an egg? But my brain knew right away that that was not a flavor that my mouth should ever savor. So I'm spitting this stuff right into my book, and it is going down in history. Does anybody beside me ask me if I'm okay? Does anybody beside me even wonder what I'm doing? Does anybody wonder why my saliva is as black as the devil's toenails? No. The only thing that happened was some guy, some Cheeto head, some guy behind me, he just goes, bless you. Bless you? Bless you? What do you think, I sneezed? Like Monstro from Pinocchio? Like, no, I'm not sneezing, man. If you know people who sneeze like that, I am praying for you, brother. So I raised my hand. Mr. Pizzarelli? Mr. Pizzarelli? Yes. Annalise? Yes, what is it? She called me Annalise. What do you want? Mr. Pizzarelli. Hey! Annalise, why is your tongue as black as Satan's toenails? Mr. Pizzarelli! Why do you look like a giraffe, child? You are not are you a giraffe? Is she a giraffe? I'm not a giraffe! Mr. Pizzarelli! My hat is coming off! Mr. Pizzarelli! My tongue! yeah, you know, Annalise, you can get a drink of water, but do not leave this classroom. No, I'm saying something really important. You gotta hear this. Just go to that dirty little science sink over there. The sink was full of, like, science bottle juice. Okay, I got it. Thank you, Mr. Pizzarelli. Thank you. I run over the sink. I don't run over the sink. I run over to the sink. I just, like, release the Niagara. So I finally clear all that snap out, and then I walk over back to my desk, kind of like hanging my head because Mr. Pizzarelli is over there. And John Adams, who was a very good boy and did not eat pens during his history class, went to Virginia. Thank you, Mr. Pizzarelli, thank you. I go back to my seat. My brain is calming down now. Death! Death! Do you hear me? Kind of. Death could happen! This pen here, you know, I'm gonna throw him away later. Oh boy, am I. And that's when I look down at my book. The entire page about John Adams and or Adolf Hitler is splattered. And I'm not talking about a little spritz, a little spray. No, it's like a deer with like guts and blood made of just darkness was smashed onto my book. It was like Monstro did sneeze, except for he sneezed black snot onto my history book, which wasn't good, it was bad, but luckily I hadn't been paying attention. Apparently, we were in an entirely different chapter, so I'm like, whew, flip to the chapter we're on. Nobody knows that page, no one knows about it, you know? Until one day, this kid got my book, emailed me like,
hey, so, I mean, I saw your name in this book, you see, and I figured you were the last person who owned it, and I was just wondering, you know on that one page, the one about John Adams and or Adolf Hitler, you know, like octopuses, octopi, you know those octocakes, you know those squids, you know squids, how they do that thing where they go, and then the black ink like comes out of when they do that, when they go, and then it comes out, you know squids, how they do that. Did a squid do that to your book?
But no, that never happened. Nobody ever emailed me, nobody ever wondered. We just moved on, just left it in the past with John Adams and or Adolf Hitler. So I hope you liked that history lesson, and there's actually quite a lot more to this story. So I think I'll call this video Middle School Mayhem. And when I tell the next part of the video, which trust me, is so much worse, I'll call it Middle School Mayhem 2.